In an unfortunate series of events, PlayStation has canceled their presence at PAX East. They were going to allow gamers to play games like The Last of Us Part 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake was going to be making its presence felt there. However, for everybody's safety, I think this is the best case scenario. As you guys might know, there is a little outbreak that's going around right now, and I think for the safety of everyone involved, this is what Sony and PlayStation had to do, so we'll talk all about that. Also, some more positive news. We'll go over that as well. The Wonderful 101 may get a sequel if the remaster is well supported by fans, and I think the remaster has already been pretty well supported by fans given that the Kickstarter campaign has done incredibly well. And lastly, Little Town Hero ventures to PlayStation 4 with the Big Idea Edition and a new easy mode. It's a very charming RPG coming from NIS America, and I want to give that some shine at the end of this video. But first up, if you're going to PAX East, I hate to disappoint you, but PlayStation will no longer be making its presence felt there, and it is for a obvious reason. They put out an update noting, "Update, today Sony Interactive Entertainment made the decision to cancel its participation at PAX East in Boston this year due to increasing concerns related to COVID-19, also known as novel coronavirus. We felt this was the safest option as the situation is changing daily. We are disappointed to cancel our participation in this event, but the health and safety of our global workforce is our highest concern." Now, I'm not going to try to get into debating coronavirus and what should or shouldn't be done. That isn't what this channel is about. I think there's been enough sensationalist headlines thrown out about coronavirus. Obviously, it is somewhat of an epidemic, and I think the majority of you guys are aware about it. Hell, some of you guys will even meme about it in the comment section, which I don't know if that's necessarily the right thing to do, to meme about coronavirus, but let's stop that conversation here. What we do know is that Sony will no longer be a part of PAX East, and that is a big disappointment because they were going to have a big presence there. Last of Us Part 2, that was really going to be one of the final chances to get a big demo of that game, and it was to be a 1-hour lengthy demo, so that is very, very disappointing. And all these other PlayStation titles that were to be there, it's disappointing that we won't get an update on all of those, but considering that PAX East, everybody's going to be coming from everywhere, and it's really going to be kind of a risky area. I mean, I think people are just going to be a little bit cautious to go anywhere where there is a global community going to an event or anything like that. Not necessarily saying that, oh, if you go anywhere, you're going to catch this virus or anything like that. It's not like that. However, I can understand from a Sony standpoint, hey, we have to think about the health and well-being of all of our global workforce, and we just have to think of the health and safety of everyone involved in an event like this, and I can understand why they want to take precautionary measures just to pull themselves away from something like this so they can keep the health and well-being of everyone in mind. Yes, it sucks for the consumer. Yes, it sucks for the people that are going to PAX East and they were planning on going because of Sony, and for whatever reason, there were a plethora of Sony-based titles that were going to be at the event, but now with Sony pulling themselves, it is a little bit of a disappointment. To give you guys an idea of PlayStation games playable at PAX East 2020, and all of these aren't Sony first-party titles, so I imagine some of them will still be playable, but games that were to be there: Below, Cloudpunk, Doom Eternal, Dreams, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Genshin Impact, Gorn, that's a PlayStation VR game, Haven, The Last of Us Part 2, Marvel's Iron Man VR, MLB The Show 20, Mosaic, Moving Out, Neo 2, One Punch Man, A Hero Nobody Knows, Paper Beast, that's another PlayStation VR game, Persona 5 Royal, Pixel Rip 1995, Predator Hunting Grounds, Remnant from the Ashes, The Room VR, A Dark Matter PSVR, Space Channel 5 PSVR, Spelunky 2, Trials of Mana, and Zombie Army 4. So those were all of the PlayStation-centric games that were going to be there. Again, if you look at what games are first-party titles, only a few of those. And again, before anyone gets really mad at this, you have to look at it from the lens of Sony, and I do think that, hey, it would be nice if they were at PAX East, given the fact that they've been promoting this for so long. This has been in the news cycle for quite a while. I've covered their presence at PAX East, and they had put out their lineup for a little while now, but now we know that they aren't going to be a part of the big event, which is a little bit of a disappointment, but hopefully we do see them in a public event soon, and hopefully we do get that reveal of the PlayStation 5 soon. There was even some rumblings that PAX East might have been the venue where we could have seen a big PlayStation 5 unveiling, and at this point, I don't know when that's going to happen. Alright, moving on to some positive news. The Wonderful 101 got supported really well by the consumers. However, it might even get a sequel if the remaster is well supported by fans. Again, I feel like the remaster has been pretty well supported by fans, given that the Kickstarter has absolutely killed it. I don't know what the exact number is. Actually, I'll pull that up for you guys right now because it has been killing it. When I saw the Kickstarter campaign doing as well as it it did initially. I was like, man, this is killing it. It's at $1,678,000, and we still have 16 days to go, so we'll see if they do end up cracking that 2 million mark, but that is a ridiculous number to reach. If you guys don't know, Wonderful 101 was a Platinum Games developed title. However, it released exclusively on the Nintendo Wii U, and you guys can probably understand the qualms and problems releasing a game exclusively on the Wii U. Not to hate on the Wii U, I thought the Wii U actually had some really good games, Wonderful 101 being one of those. However, there was just a small consumer base to work with whenever you release a game on a Wii U. Not a lot of people had one, so you're already working with a small pool of people. However, speaking with Nintendo Everything, the Wonderful 101 director Hideaki Kamiya opened up about a possible sequel, stating that there are plenty of ideas that have been implemented in the final game. This sequel, however, will only happen if there are fans that will play it, according to studio head Atsushi Inaba, so the level of support the Wonderful 101 remaster receives will indicate if there is interest for more entries in the series. He noted, quote, "Back when we were making the Wii U original, I had a lot of hope for the game before its release. I knew we made a really incredible game, so I felt confident that a lot of people would play it and it'd be a big hit. I was dreaming things up left and right. I had ideas like, oh, what would it be like if we did a sequel where Wonder Blue was the leader? All of those, these creative and exciting ideas were flowing, and then the game released and I saw numbers and was like, wait, what? Haha. So I hope I get to have those aspirations again in the future. The Wonderful 101 remaster will feature the same engaging experience seen in the original Wii U release, as well as additional content that will be implemented separately from the main campaign, as well as gameplay tweaks." Noting, quote, "In the Wonderful 101 remastered, you don't just control a single superhero, you control a whole team united to face off against the forces of evil. As you travel around the city, you'll rescue civilians who will join your cause, bolstering your ranks. The Wonderful Ones have more than just numbers on their side. To solve puzzles and smash evil, the Wonderful Ones can perform a unite morph, combining together to create fists, swords, bridges, and other incredible constructs. Together with Wonder Red, Wonder Blue, and the rest of the Wonderful Ones, it's time to save Blossom City and the rest of the world." Okay, so what you have to understand about me saying that the Kickstarter has been well received and that should already call for a sequel, that's not necessarily the case. There's a difference between a game being kickstarted and there being a full-on sequel, because they can't kickstart a Wonderful 101 2. I mean, they could, but they probably don't want to go that route, given the fact that they're getting all this funding from Tencent, given that they already did one Kickstarter and it was so well received that at that point, if you do want to do a sequel, that's going to come out of Platinum Games' own pocket. Well, if you actually assess the Kickstarter, there's 26,000 backers, so there's a lot of backers that are backing a significant amount of money. You can't have that same level of expectation for a Wonderful 101 2. What's going to happen is that game would be sold for $60 a pop, so they have to ascertain what is the demand for a Wonderful 101 2. The Kickstarter is a good sign of that, but ultimately they can ascertain the demand based on how well the remaster actually sells, because at that point, let's hypothetically say they released a Wonderful 101 2. It's no longer gonna be you're generating so much revenue from people backing the game. It's gonna be, okay, we can sell this game at $59.99. We need to sell X amount of copies to break even or make a profit, and at that point, you really need enough people just buying the game. At that point, it becomes the quantity of people buying the game, not just specific people backing with a lot of money, if you guys get what I'm saying. That's why it's important that the remaster itself sells well, and I feel like it will. I feel like there has been a lot of attention on this Kickstarter, even if you're not backing it. I think the news about Wonderful 101 is in the gaming news cycle, so we'll see how ultimately the game does sell. It should be out later in 2020. And lastly, I do want to bring your guys' attention to a very charming RPG coming from NIS America, and that is Little Town Hero, and it's venturing to the PlayStation 4 with the Big Idea Edition and a new easy mode. I want to read the PlayStation blog post from Aaron Kim, the public relations coordinator over at NIS. What? Little Town Hero is coming to PlayStation 4? You heard that right. This charming RPG will be releasing physically as the Big Idea Edition on June 2nd. As the only method to obtaining a physical copy, the Big Idea Edition on PlayStation 4 also comes with an art book, poster, lapel pin set, and official soundtrack CD with music composed by Toby Fox. So music by Toby Fox, that is definitely an enticing element to the game already. In Little Town Hero, you play as Axe, a young boy with big ambitions to venture outside his village and see what lies beyond. After finding a stone that mysteriously manifests his ideas, Axe must use his imagination to defend against and discover the truth of the sudden monster attacks in his town. The unique combat system in Little Town Hero eliminates the need to grind. Strategy and creativity go a long way in defeating your enemies. For a more laid-back experience, the all-new easy mode lowers the attack and defense of enemy deserts, and special effects from enemies show up less often. Let's take a quick look into what battle looks like, and it looks like a pretty engaging turn-based RPG. Looks like it has some unique mechanics as well, they note, as you can see from the image above, colliding sight guard and the enemy's punch dazits would result in them both breaking each other. There are basics. Let your ideas lead on you on an adventure of epic proportions with Little Town Hero Big Idea Edition coming to PlayStation 4 on June 2nd. We don't have a price point for this one. If it comes out at a $29.99 or $39.99 price point, I do think it'll be a game that people will be excited to check out, and if you're into a charming RPG, it is going to be right up your alley. Again, that will be dropping June 2nd. And that's going to conclude this video. Again, PlayStation has canceled their presence at PAX East due to lingering presence of coronavirus and their lingering worries, so that's unfortunate, but hey, if it's for the safety of everyone involved, I can understand why. The Wonderful 101 may get a sequel if the remaster is well supported by fans, and Little Town Hero ventures onto PlayStation 4 with the Big Idea Edition on June 2nd. That's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.